Good evening, everyone. It's 6:30, and it is December 8th, 2020. And at this time, I would like to call the governing board of the Maricopa Community College District to order. With that, I'm going to start by taking roll, and I'll start with Mr. Hendricks.
Present.
Thank you. Mrs. McGrath.
Present.
Dr. Narini.
Present.
Mr. Saar.
Here.
Dr. Thor.
I'm here.
Ms. Nguyen.
Present.
And I'm unsure if Ms. Munoz, our student advisory member, is present. I don't believe she is, and with my presence, let the record show that there is a full quorum, 7-0 of the board members. So tonight, our meeting is relatively short, but an important one. And I want to remind everyone we are live captioning our meeting. So please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. So moving on, there are no substitutions for tonight's meeting. There is no report from the Faculty Executive Council. We have presented in writing a report from Dr. Terry Train on behalf of the Adjunct Faculty Association. There is no report from the Interim Employee Senate Committee. Student life reports, though. What we have this evening is a welcome to Phoenix College United Student Government. Ms. Diana Martinez and Mr. Ralph Thompson, the advisors, will be supporting the virtual presentation. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to them. Please go forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are just going to go ahead and play the virtual presentation. Just wanted to let you know that if you called in using your phone, you will not be able to hear the audio. You will be able to listen to it once the whole meeting is uploaded to our webpage. Also, as I move over to start the video, please know that the options for you to view the screen in a larger or smaller format along with the audio are at the bottom right of the video.
Thank you, Ms. Macias.
Good evening, President Sullivan, members of the board, Dr. Gonzalez, Dr. Johnson, members of the CEC, and guests. My name is Josue Sanabia, President of the Phoenix College United Student Government. My major is in medical studies, and I will graduate from PC in the spring of 2021. It's an honor for our 2020-2021 PC United Student Government to present an overview of our campus accomplishments. PC United is proud to be one of the 20 active clubs and represent the flagship of the Maricopa Community College District. Phoenix College continues to celebrate our past and prepare our students for the future. PC's founders envisioned the college as a place of inclusion, diversity, equity, and access, and we continue to celebrate this after 100 years. In our long history as a pioneering institution, PC continues to hold a unique place in Phoenix and Arizona history. PC is more than a school, we're part of the community. Despite the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, we're still going strong. We have risen to the challenge and are adapting to our new virtual setting. Although we're not here in person, we're still creating events that benefit our students and the community since we are the heart of Phoenix. My fellow executives are proud to tell you about some of them.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Spence. I'm the Secretary of PC United Student Government. My major is in nursing, and I am graduating in 2021. From its beginning in 1920, Phoenix College adopted a non-segregation policy and offered unequaled access to higher education for all those who wanted to improve their lives through learning. A multicultural and diverse student population became one of the hallmarks of Phoenix College. We celebrated National Coming Out Day and LGBTQ History Month in October. We hosted a panel discussion featuring LGBTQ+ students and their experiences. In November, we celebrated Native American Heritage Month by hosting a Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's panel, Flutes and Stories with Randy Kemp, and a screening of the new documentary, Gather.
Good evening. My name is Pinala Iracose. I'm a member of PC United Student Government. My major is Medical Lab Science, and I am graduating in 2022. Our highlight event was the virtual Tunnel of Oppression in November. The Tunnel of Oppression allowed participants to view different video presentations designed to show history that was rewritten or erased by colonialism. We had 141 students, staff, and community members experience the tunnel. We also had other campuses attend the event. With the support of our faculty members, classes were able to attend as well and experience the event. So you see, equity continues to be at the heart of PC's focus. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Martel Stevenson, Vice President of Advocacy. My major is chemistry, and I'm graduating in 2021. We know our students are busy, and we want to provide them access to benefits that will help them succeed. We continue to support our students with food insecurities by providing them with lunches and weekend bags so they can focus on school, not hunger. Through our PC Pantry and our partners at St. Mary's Food Bank and Kroger's, we provide healthier and more sustainable options for students. We continue to help students weekly with weekend bags. On November 24th, in partnership with the PC Alumni Office and in celebration of our centennial, we distributed 100 turkey dinners to our students. These dinners included turkey, mashed potatoes, rolls, veggies, cranberry sauce, and a pie. Our students were recognized and featured nationally by the Associated Press. We are so thankful for all who made this possible for our students. We continue to host the St. Mary's Food Bank Mobile Pantry every 2 weeks. We provide food boxes and have a drive-up, contactless process to maintain safety. With the help of our community, faculty, and staff, we continue to provide support to help our students succeed, which in the long run helps promote student engagement and retention.
Good evening. My name is Edgar Gonzalez and I'm a PC United Club member. My major is nursing and I am graduating in 2025-2026. On September 18, 2020, Phoenix College celebrated the virtual grand opening of the Phoenix College IT Institute in downtown Phoenix. Maria Reyes, Phoenix College Dean of Industry and Public Service, was quoted as saying, and I quote, "The IT Institute will support more than 30 certificate and degrees programs in 11 different program areas that will meet workforce needs. This will be a place where new, continuing, or returning students can develop the IT skills they seek to be readily employable. The downtown campus will serve as a collaborative space for all students in these programs. Once it's safe to do so, in-person downtown classes will be offered during the day, evening, and weekend. The school will also offer flexible formats, such as hybrid or online classes moving forward. The site will also serve as a convening location for workshops, industry advisory groups, meetups, and networking functions. We are excited to start this new chapter in PC history."
Phoenix College may be 100 years old, but we continue to rise up to face the challenges that come our way. Pandemics, virtual meeting fatigue, and social distancing are still in our forethought. But PC resilience is strong on our campus and we're ready to adapt to what lies ahead. We're thankful we can still provide equity, access, and opportunity for our students and community. As Dr. Johnson says, the best is yet to come and we look forward to that. Thank you, Dr. Johnson, for your continued support and leadership. Lastly, we thank the governing board for your time tonight and your continued support of Phoenix College. We wish you all a happy holiday.
We appreciated the virtual presentation this evening from Phoenix College. With that, moving on the agenda, there's no Student Senate report, and that brings us to the Emeritus Awards and Recognition category. As you know, we've been following the process where honorees are approved during the consent agenda. As we begin to establish new normal processes across our system, one area we will be returning to is recognizing the outstanding contributions of our faculty as they retire from our system. Following the board meeting, we will include an article recognizing tonight's recipient in the Maricopa newsletter that will include a short profile and a photo of the recipient. Our board assistant will forward the newsletter of tonight's to our evening's recipient. Sorry for that. We are hopeful that we will be able to celebrate this distinction for Ms. Sue Ann Lucius in a more formal manner sometime in the near future. And now it's hard to acknowledge all these wonderful individuals with their outstanding contributions to our district. And I really hope someday we will be able to convene everyone in a reception so we can acknowledge all of your fine contributions to the district. So again, congratulations, Ms. Sue Ann Lucius, on your designation for Emeritus Award this evening. With that, moving to the Chancellor's report, Dr. Gonzalez, you have an end-of-year update.
Yes, I do. President Sullivan, members of the board, CEC, and guests, my comments will be somewhat brief, but as we approach the end of not only the semester, we are also approaching an extremely unique year, at least in recent history, in our state and country and world for that matter, as we face the pandemic. Many of us are very excited about 2020 coming to an end, and the start of a new year brings great hope. I want to thank the Maricopa employees for hanging in there during 2020, for facing its challenges head on, and for serving our students in spite of the challenges that we have faced. I want to thank you as governing board members for providing leadership during this extremely difficult period. And I want to thank the students that have come to Maricopa during this time and have trusted us to continue to provide the quality education and services that they are accustomed to and that we stand ready to continue to provide. We've learned a lot about ourselves in this past year. We've tested our own strength and might, and we take all of this experience and wisdom with a refreshed perspective into 2021. I appreciate the opportunity to have led this past year, and we all stand ready for continuing our important work with you as a board, with our students, and with one another. I truly believe that Maricopa's best days lie ahead for us. As we close out this year, I want to take just a moment to acknowledge that, next to voting, serving as an elected official is perhaps one of the greatest civic opportunities one can embark in to preserve and to maintain and to continue our democracy. In my belief, it takes great courage and stamina and certainly some passion for the advancement of the entity that you are elected to represent. Tonight, I would like to recognize two outgoing board members, Mr. Dana Saar and Mr. Lauren Hendricks. It has been a privilege and honor to work with each of them the past several years. On behalf of all Maricopa faculty, staff, administration, and students, I would like to thank each of you for your service and dedication, and would like you to know that we wish you well on your continued life journey and political journey as Mr. Saar goes on to be a board member for the Fountain Hills Unified School District, and as Mr. Hendrick goes on to serve as Gilbert-Town Council member. So we thank you for your service and dedication. With that, President Sullivan, I want to wish you all as a governing board and all of the Maricopa employees and students a happy holiday season. I hope that you all remain safe and healthy through this winter holiday season and winter break that we get. And we, again, are looking forward to the start of a brand new year with great optimism and hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. Moving on, we have no citizens interim presenters this evening, and that will then take us to tonight's consent agenda. With that, all items noted on the agenda with an asterisk are consent matters unless they are removed from the consent agenda at this time. Do any board members or the Chancellor wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? It doesn't appear so. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Ms.
So
Sullivan?
moved.
A second?
Okay. Yes, Dr. Thor, and then I'll go back to Dr. Narini. Dr. Thor?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Okay, and Dr. Narini, are you a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All of those in favor of supporting tonight's consent agenda, I will call roll for your vote. Mr. Hendricks?
Aye.
Mrs. McGrath?
Aye.
Dr. Narini?
Aye.
And Mr. Saar?
Aye.
Ms. Nguyen?
Aye.
Dr. Thor?
Aye.
I vote aye, so the consent agenda motion to approve it as presented is approved, 7-0. So now we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, item 15, first reading and information items. Are there any comments for item 15.1? Any comments or questions for item 15.2? Hearing silence, if that's possible. Let me move on to item 16. There is no burn report to present this evening. That will be presented at our January 26th board meeting. So moving on now to our community linkage place for board members. I'm going to start off this evening, and with that, I want to acknowledge, following Dr. Gonzalez's example, the service, commitment, and passion that I have personally experienced, but the district has experienced from our two fellow board members, Mr. Dana Saar and Mr. Lauren Hendricks. I know firsthand, as we all do, that making a commitment to serve publicly requires a lot of stamina, fortitude, courage, and deliberation to be educated in the matters at hand and to participate with integrity and goodwill. It's been my experience that I have experienced all of those characteristics in my time serving with both you, Mr. Saar, and you, Mr. Hendricks. As we move forward for your departure, I want you to know that both of you will be receiving plaques from the district. And I guess our greatest disappointment is that we can't be in person with you this evening to share with you this transition as you move on to other exciting, challenging things in your life. But for the community, I would like to read what the plaques will say. So first, with our deepest appreciation, we hereby honor Mr. Dana Saar in recognition of your guidance, leadership, and commitment to serving as a member of the Maricopa County Community Colleges District Governing Board, 2011 to 2020. Similarly, we want to express our deepest appreciation and therefore honor Mr. Lauren Hendricks in recognition of your guidance, leadership, and commitment to serving as a member of the Maricopa County Community Colleges District Governing Board, 2017 through 2020. Before I ask other board members to comment, I would like to acknowledge, Mr. Saar, that I've never witnessed anyone who has been such a champion for individuals interested in career paths and focusing on what is next in their life in terms of employment and good learnings for their interests. Also, I've learned a lot from you in your policy guidance, and certainly not having before appreciated the elements of policy that dictate both district activity and governing boards at quite the same level. You have really allowed us to stay on target with appreciating and understanding what those are, and have been the reminder if we ever tend to stray. Your focus and support of our outcomes and helping us understand our limitations has certainly also been an outstanding contribution and has made us more impactful and effective as a district. I also want to recognize that you've been a national leader, both on behalf of the district and representing your own dedication to community college individuals at both ACCT and other organizations that dictate and manage and guide community colleges throughout the United States and internationally. So want to thank you for that. You've just been a great guy to work with, and so thank you so much for what you have contributed to all the students and people of this district. Mr. Hendricks, also would like to say that I've had the pleasure of working with you as a partner on this board, particularly in this last year, and I'm very honored to have had that opportunity to learn from you and also learn with you as we have navigated a most unusual year, 2020. And I would like to acknowledge that I don't think it would have been as impactful or effective, even the ways that we were able and had to navigate, if it hadn't been a partnership. So thank you so much for that. I'd also like to acknowledge that you have brought a lot to us in understanding legislative activity, our positions in policy. Your connections to the community have been immeasurable, and we wish you the best as you move forward to continue those efforts in your new gig at the Gilbert Town Council. And so again, it's been a privilege to work with you. It's been a privilege to work with both of you. And the one thing that stands out is both of you have had an outstanding interest and commitment to the students of our district from each of your perspectives. And the students are better because of that. So those are my comments for the evening, and want to thank you again for your contributions and the outstanding efforts that you have brought to our district. So before I move to you to offer comments, I'm going to ask other board members to do this as well. And so I'll start with you, Mrs. McGrath. Do you have board updates or any comments?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. I'm going to miss both of these people. I'm going to miss Dana's knowledge of the procedures that we go through, and every time I had a question about anything about the district, he always had an answer. He was one of the best guides to new members that I know of. He was so helpful when John Heap and I were elected to the board, and really helped guide us and teach us. And I'm going to miss that institutional knowledge that Dana has and has generously shared with everyone. I'm going to miss Mr. Hendricks' wonderful understanding of the budget. I have very strong feelings about the budget, but I don't understand all the intricacies as Mr. Hendricks does, and I'm really going to miss that, and I really appreciated his ability to dig in and help us understand what's going on financially in the district. Thank you for this opportunity to thank both of them.
Thank you, Mrs. McGrath. Dr. Narini.
Well, thank you. Like Ms. McGrath, it's been great serving with both of you. I really appreciate you helping me understand and transition to the board and try to get my feet under me, and I'm still a bit shaky about that. But I appreciate all the help that you've given me and all the wisdom that you brought. And Dana, attending the conferences, the national conference, the ACCT won't be the same without you. We're going to have to find our own places to eat dinner. We won't have your recommendations for that. And you're going to have to keep us updated with how you, before the next conference, how you're doing and things, because I know that most of the conference, we're going to be spending all that time answering that question to all your colleagues and all the contacts you've made from around the country who care deeply about you, and will want to know updates about how you're doing, because, again, I know that most of the conference is going to be spent doing that. And then, Mr. Hendricks, for a time, I really enjoyed sharing the far left position on the board with you. Or was it the far right? I guess it depends which side of the dais you're sitting on. But we shared. I like to think we were on the far left side. And you know, I also appreciated the way Mr. Hendricks' ability to summarize issues and or elaborate on issues depending on the topic. And he was able to put into words a lot of the thoughts that I had most of the time. So I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss his summaries. I'm going to miss his wit. And you know, caring for the students. So thank you both, and keep us up to date with what's going on with you guys. Thanks so much. Oh, and I just want to wish everybody else a happy holiday, and hope that all their family and stay safe and healthy. And just want to thank all the staff and faculty and administrators for helping us go navigate this crazy year of 2020. So thank you guys. Thank you all so much for all you've done. And for what you've done for our students, what you've done for each other, what you've done for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Narini. Dr. Thor.
Thank you, Ms. Sullivan. I also want to join with the others in thanking Mr. Saar and Mr. Hendricks for their service on the governing board, and even broader than that, their service to the Maricopa community colleges and our communities. To start with Mr. Saar, I first met him when I was president of Rio Salado, and he was considering running for the governing board. And he made a visit to my office, as I believe he did to all of the presidents, to talk about issues that we were addressing. I never had the opportunity to work with him as a president, however, because as he was joining the board in 2010, I was transitioning out of Maricopa. So I certainly was delighted when I returned to Phoenix and was considering running for the governing board that he reached out to me to answer questions, but also to offer encouragement. As others have mentioned, I have always valued his focus on policy and reminding us to stay in our lane, to stay true to our policies. If we couldn't do that, then to change our policies. Also, of course, constantly and effectively reminding us about the importance of CTE and that we always are addressing the needs of those students as well as those faculty and staff in those programs. He also really scanned the national landscape on a regular basis to make sure that we were paying attention to the national trends. And as others have indicated, he represented us so very, very well at ACCT, but also here in Arizona at AADGB, which is now AACCT. And I was thinking, as Dr. Narini commented, that truly at future conferences, we will spend most of our time updating people on everybody's friend, Dana Saar. So we will miss him, and we certainly wish him very well as he returns to the Fountain Hills Governing Board. I first met Lauren Hendricks right after he and I were both elected to the board in 2016. And he reached out to me, and when I got a voicemail message saying it was Lauren Hendricks, and I didn't know quite what to expect, but he asked if I was willing to meet with him, and I said, of course. And he told me that it was really important to him that he developed relationships with the other board members, and he certainly was very true to that. He will readily say that he and I have not always agreed on policy, but what we have been able to do is always explore ideas together. And I have always enjoyed our conversations, even when we disagreed. And I have really benefited from understanding his perspectives on issues. He and I have a shared goal of seeing the community colleges have the ability to offer a limited number of applied baccalaureate degrees in areas of great workforce demand. And I was delighted the other day when he told me that he would continue to help us with this initiative through his various networks. So I personally will miss you, Lauren. And I wish you all the success in your new role on the Gilbert Town Council. I also would like to wish all the members of the board, the administration, the faculty, and the staff very happy holidays and very safe holidays. I'm also optimistic about 2021, knowing that the first quarter or even the first half of the year will continue to be tough, but hopefully next year at this time, we'll be able to meet and celebrate together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Thor. Ms. Nguyen.
Well, I will echo everything that has been said, and I'll start with Mr. Saar. Mr. Saar was really the best friend to anybody new coming on the board. His knowledge, his commitment to students, his kindness, his restaurant knowledge at ACCT conferences, but more importantly, how everyone there interacted with him. And I think the greatest loss in losing Mr. Saar is that, like Mrs. McGrath said, is the institutional knowledge and the historical knowledge. Dana always brought us back to the point and what we were trying to get done. But I think when he was a student and his enthusiasm for what we were doing and how we present our classes and how we took care of our programs, and CT, obviously, he gets the crown and the sash for that. He was the king, and those are big shoes to fill on our board. As a person, they're just a good man, a kind man, and just someone who always was willing to listen and give direction and give input. And I really will miss having Mr. Saar on the board. And I wish him nothing but the greatest success. EVIT is lucky to have him, and Fountain Hills. I think that's just wonderful. I didn't know that till tonight, so I'm glad to hear that. Mr. Hendricks, I met when I originally started to run for this, and I really appreciate Lauren's direct approach to things and his candidness. I think he's gone from the frying pan into the fire at the town of Gilbert, but if anybody has the tenacity and the outspokenness and the direction to get things done, it's Lauren Hendricks. So I know that he will be successful in Gilbert, and Gilbert is very lucky to have him. And I know that he will do a good job in that community, and I wish him nothing but the greatest success. I wish both of them the greatest success. To everyone else, I wish you Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Just stay safe, enjoy your families, and I too believe that 2021 will be better, and that we have a lot to look forward to. And I think that despite everything that's happened this year, everyone has put their best foot forward and tried to do the right thing. And I look forward to working with everyone next year. And I thank you for the opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate both of these men. And we will miss them terribly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. Well, Mr. Saar, do you have any comments?
Well, I could go on for hours, I suppose, thanking everybody, but it's most important that I thank those that made this job fun. It was a ride that I'll enjoy forever. And I'm looking forward to moving on back to the Fountain Hills, which K-12 have different challenges now than it did 10 years ago when I left that board. I also am involved with career and technical education again as a teacher, which who knew? But to all those who have helped me over this last 10 years, I really want to express my appreciation. It really made this job worth it, not just from the standpoint of my own personal needs, but I know that there are a lot of students out there that realize how important this district is for their future. So on top of that, I'd just like to make sure everybody has a safe and healthy holiday season, and I'm very confident that the board is in good hands as we leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saar. Mr. Hendricks.
First of all, I appreciate talking last because then nobody can refuse anything I say. That's always an advantage.
I know, I still can.
Okay.
Keep going now.
As Dr. Thor said, I've always made it a focus to build relationships and get to know people on whatever boards I was sitting on, and I've always made an effort to do that. And one of the people I've enjoyed the most is Dr. Thor. We've had many good conversations, not that we always agreed on Maricopa policy, but we've talked about policy, we've talked about raising kids, and probably most importantly, we've talked about how to get out of an escape room, which was very valuable to me after Dr. Thor shared the experience of getting out of one. And I've remembered that for quite some time. And of everything, that was the most valuable thing. And she's been great to work with. She's one of these people that many of the people that are listening to this probably know her and have probably worked with her. But if you haven't, she's somebody you have lunch with, and she's a wealth of knowledge and experience about all sorts of things. And you'll find yourself 2 or 3 days later pondering something she said, just some comment she made or some story she told, and you're still thinking about it because it takes a couple of days to absorb everything that she shares. And she's just fun to be with, and she leaves an impression on anybody that she's around. Mrs. McGrath, I knew before I was on the board. I didn't know her well, but I knew her because her and I have been in politics together for a long time. And she came to my office one time early on, and one thing I've learned with Mrs. McGrath is she's the real deal. She's not rhetoric. She's not talk. What she says is what she is and what she believes. And when she came to my office, I still remember because we were talking about board policies and things going on with the board. And it was important to her. She brought me a Bible, a little 2-inch by 3-inch Bible that she brought when she stopped by, which really wasn't part of our discussion. And she gave it to me as a gift. And it's still on my desk. And I appreciate her bringing that. And she doesn't wear what she believes on her shirt tail. She is what she says. She believes it. She's the real deal. Dr. Narini, can anybody not like Dr. Narini? Have you ever heard him raise his voice? I mean, have you ever heard him say a negative thing about anybody? I mean, the guy, you just can't help but respect and like the guy. I'm tempted to call his wife and ask him if he ever gets mad. Does he ever say anything negative about anybody, or is he really this nice guy that we all see and we all think? I'd like to just find out something negative so I could share it in the shadows or something. But it seems like his district, because before him I worked with Augie Bartning and Alfredo Gutierrez, and I became good friends on the board, and we're still good friends. And everybody in that district, they're all just good people. They're fun to be around. They're just good guys. It's unfortunate that they're all wrong about pretty much everything because they're such good guys. I wish that they could be on the right side of an argument once in a while, but they're still great guys. But they're all wrong about most things. Mrs. Sullivan, I didn't know before she was on the board, but we met early on, and once she became president, I spent a lot more time with her, and I kind of went back and forth whether I agreed with her, disagreed with her, and we had a number of conversations at different times where I think both of us kind of danced around because we didn't want to offend the other one, but we wanted to share different points of view. And I remembered a comment she told me probably been 6 months ago when we were talking about differences in division on the board and upcoming election. and she made the comment that she liked to think that everybody wanted to go the same direction. Everyone wanted to improve Maricopa. Everyone had good intentions. They maybe just had slightly different ideas of how to get there. And I've pondered that comment a number of times because she's probably correct. She's probably correct. When we think we disagree, when we think we're just diametrically opposed, with the exception of District 5, which is always wrong, but the rest of us, when we think we're fully apart, we're probably not as far apart as we might think we are. If we just take a step back and realize we all have the same goal. Dr. Gonzalez, I want to mention him, and the reason I want to mention him is aside from being a chancellor and a successful, qualified guy, he's the kind of guy that does things that not just anybody does. And one thing I'll share is I've run for office a number of times. I've won 6 times and I've lost 2. And when you win, everybody calls you and says, congratulations, hey, great job, this is really neat, and we knew you were going to win and all that. Well, when you lose, nobody calls you. Nobody calls to say, hey, I hear you lost. You don't hear anything. Well, the day after the election, I get this phone call from Dr. Gonzalez, and I pick it up, and he says, how you doing, Mr. Hendricks? And I'm going, well, I'm doing fine. And he goes, I think you lost your election, didn't you? And he was kind of quietly, like I guess he expected me to be, I don't know, depressed or despondent or whatever. But he's a guy that calls you and says, hey, how you feeling? You doing okay? I mean, he didn't have to do that. Not many people do. Just a few other names that come to mind that I've enjoyed working with is obviously I haven't been on the same page with the Faculty Association most of the time. But I did spend some time with Mike Mitchell, with Keith Hefner, with Eddie Jenner from time to time. And I think all those guys are from District 5 for the same reasons I mentioned before. But they're really good guys. I enjoyed meeting with them. I enjoyed working with them. I enjoyed talking to them. I mean, they all have great intentions, and they're good people. Even if I didn't always agree with the directions they all wanted to go. And finally, I want to talk about my successor, Mrs. Smith. When she ran her election, she focused mostly on my shortcomings, which I guess worked out well. But she could have focused on her accolades because she's a very accomplished lady. She's highly educated. She's highly capable. I think she's going to do a fantastic job, and I wish her well. And I think you'll all like working with her. I don't know her. I haven't met her, but from what I do know of her, I think she'll be great to work with. I think she'll be a tremendous asset to the board, and I wish her well. In fact, I was communicating with Dr. Thor on election night, and I'd text her to congratulate her. And she kind of asked me how I was feeling, and, the votes were still being counted, and I texted her back. And I said, I think this outcome could be better for me personally, and it could be better for Maricopa. I mean, I think the lady that's taking my seat will be a true asset to Maricopa. And I want to thank everybody for the kind comments, and hopefully we'll continue to cross paths.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hendricks. And, it is hard to say goodbye to valued colleagues, and wish you well, given that we won't be meeting online once or twice a month, but we certainly hope to keep in touch and to hear about the good works that both of you are doing in your next careers, political careers, next levels. And thank you also for your generous comments. So with that, I'd like to remind everyone that we will have our next official meeting on January 5 at 5 p.m. It'll be a special meeting for the election of officers. And from there, we will be assessing how many other meetings we need to go forward outside of the regular meetings. The next meeting after the 5th that is currently scheduled will be January 19th at 4 p.m. for an agenda review for the January 26, 2021 meeting. So as other people have expressed, 2020 is coming to an end, and it started off with a bang and all of us energetic and hopeful and anticipating a great year. And I can't say that it was a year without accomplishment, but I will say it was a heck of a year. And to all of you in the district who are on the call and those of your colleagues who aren't, want to express from the board our deepest gratitude for your commitment and ongoing dedication to the students and all of the employees, faculty, adjunct, others, administrative staff, et cetera, who serve this district so well. We have come through the year and we're moving forward into the next year with hope and with interest for how we can do better. And also at that time, we will be embraced by two new colleagues, and that would be Ms. Susan Bittersmith and Ms. Jacqueline Smith, who will fill the positions that Mr. Saar and Mr. Hendricks are leaving. So we look forward to working with them as we embrace the new year. So with that, I also would like to wish everyone good holidays. And I hope that everyone stays well and stays safe and has the opportunity to celebrate, as we say, joy to the world and on to 2021. So with that, I'm going to adjourn tonight's meeting until we meet again in 2021. Thank you all.